Excellent. All right. Well, our main topic for this evening, which is the most important thing to do in your digital marketing that most people miss. All right. Well, let me just bring up a screen here. I do have a few PowerPoint slides. I'm not going to sort of do death by PowerPoint today. So I said it's going to be a little bit more workshop-y as well too. So I'm going to ask for a wee bit of input from you so that we can make this as useful as possible for you. All right. Looks like the rain and the wind is going outside. Just keeping things running slowly here. But I love it, don't you? First world country, and our internet server is sometimes a bit of a challenge. All right, so here we go. Most important thing to do in your digital marketing that most people miss. So I'm going to ask a question here, and what is the best marketing strategy? So this is a bit of a brainstorm. Whoop, let's get out of that. There we go. We clicked ahead just a bit further. There's a bit of a brainstorm and just looking to get some ideas. So maybe just open up your mic, or you can just drop into chat. What do you think are the best marketing strategies, apps, or tools? I just lost the chat there, so let me bring that up again. There we go. And feel free to unmute and let us know what you think are some of the best marketing tools and strategies out there, maybe ones that you've used. Or maybe not even the best. Just what are some of them? All right, what have we got? Personal referral. Excellent. So personal referral, no idea, but perhaps Facebook. Yep, Facebook. Yes, some people swear by Facebook and Instagram. Yep. YouTube, yes. Email, yep. Email's a good channel. Branded QR code.
Google business page.
Google Business, yep, thank you. So Google Business page.
Website.
Website. All right, yep.
Paid ads, Nick. Google paid ads.
Google paid ads, yep. All right, yep. Whoops, I can't spell today.
And a VA, anything organic done by yourself or a VA.
Okay. So anything organic. Yep, all right. Anything else? Must be some
LinkedIn.
more. Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah, okay. So all of those social media platforms. Yep.
You put existing clients.
Existing clients. Oh, good one. Yep. Yep.
You haven't got already. Personal referral you've already got. Okay.
Personal referral. Yes, we've got that there as well. Any others? Probably lots there.
Other people's lists.
Other people's lists. All right. So joint ventures. Okay. Other people's platforms. Okay, other people's platforms as well. So I've got a voice coming in beside me here too. So there are lots and lots of things. In fact, this is just a small smattering of some of the things that you can do. And I'm sure if we spent long enough, we could probably come up with at least 100 items. And because there are more than that in terms of marketing. So no shortage of them. But how do you know which one is going to be successful in your business? That's a question. How do you evaluate which are going to be some good strategies for your business? Any ideas?
Hopefully you test and measure.
Test and measure. Yep. Yep. Unfortunately, not a lot of people do that. But yes, that's an absolute essential. Yep. How else? How do you know whether it's going to be a good strategy or not? How do you embark upon something and decide that this is a good strategy?
I tend to follow an industry leader. Whatever they're doing that's working, I try and follow in their footsteps or improve it.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad you've said that, Jeff, because we're going to come through to that. Yep, and often that's one of the methods that we can use to find out, you know, what's working for other people. Excellent. Google Analytics, absolutely. So being able to track actually what's going on with Google Analytics. And good question. How do you know what they're doing? So how do you know what other people are doing? That's a really good question. Any clues on that there? How do you discover what other people are doing?
Ask ChatGPT.
Yes, the eternal ChatGPT who knows everything. Yeah, ChatGPT is definitely a method that people are using. What else?
Follow your competitors.
Follow your competitors. Yes, absolutely. So see what they're doing. Yep. How do you know whether what your competitors are doing is working or not?
Ooh.
Oh, you don't. I've got a story around all that, so which I'll talk about. Refs and SERPs. Yes, both of those are good places to find out as well too. And so Refs is a website to find out sort of what's happening with other people's pages, as is things like Moz and SEMrush. They're all pretty costly. So that it does cost some money to do that sort of investigation. So if you were to start a business, say, SEMrush, yes. If you were to start a business, let's say today or tomorrow or today, and you wanted to get the most effective marketing or advertising, or sort of marketing strategy for yourself online, how would you go about that? Let's just throw some ideas out there. How would you go about that? Any ideas? This, by the way, this is a normal response too, because a lot of people don't quite know, and it's almost like a throw a dart at the dartboard to find out, you know, what's actually, you know, what you should do. Anyone got a process for being able to evaluate, you know, what they should be doing in their marketing? All right, so not a lot there. All right, well, I'm sort of glad that that's how it is, because that really is how it is for most people. In fact, I get questions all the time from people asking what they should do with their digital marketing that is going to be effective for them and their business. And my answer is, I have no idea. So, and in fact, most people have no idea. Victoria, have you got your hand up? Well, not sure whether your hand's up because you had a question or you just clicked the button. All right, so I really have no idea. So, but unfortunately, one of the things I can tell you is that there is no silver bullet for your marketing. So often what people do is they look for, and I have to say, I've been guilty of this as well too, have to look for a sort of formula to follow. Anyone here followed a formula? So you've got sort of someone online, they've given you a process or a formula and you follow that. Anyone done that? Just give us a show of hands there. Yep. How many have found that the formula didn't really work the way that you expected it to? And so often that is the case as well too. So no one really has a sort of magic formula or a silver bullet. So it really doesn't exist, and nor does this. So there is no magic wand to wave in terms of, you know, what is going to be an effective marketing strategy for you. Now, I'm glad that Jeff sort of brought up this point here about looking at what your industry is doing and emulating what they're doing. I had one of the people that I'd followed. His name's Jeff Walker. He's written a book called Launch, and he runs a program called Launch every year, which is how to launch your program. So he's got a really good process for doing it, and on one of the calls there, someone said that they were following processes that Jeff was doing. And Jeff said, well, why would you do that? He said, I spend thousands of dollars, in fact, tens of thousands of dollars testing things, not knowing whether they work. So he'll run some campaigns and he'll test them, and some of them will bomb. In fact, a lot of them will bomb. So he'll get nothing out of them. So if you happen to see a strategy or a process that someone is running, how do you know whether it's successful, or how do you know whether it bombs? The truth of the matter is that we don't. The only person that knows whether it works or not is the person that's actually running that strategy. So emulating someone else is a very dangerous way to go. You can sort of look at some of the things that they're doing and include that in your mix of marketing and test it yourself. So nothing wrong with that. If you're testing that, knowing that you don't know whether it's going to work or not, that's okay. But you need to know that you have to test and measure that at every point along the way. The other thing about it too is that you don't know whether a strategy that someone's running is something that they're running as a part of a whole marketing mix with a whole lot of other things that they're running as well too. So let's say they're running an Instagram ad series, and that's all that you see. But what you don't see are some of those other things that they're running in the background. So they might have a Google business page set up and running properly. They might have a whole lot of organic strategies running. They might have a team of cold callers and telemarketers out there as part of their marketing mix. And this is just one small part of it. And all of those things combined, when you add them all together, that's what makes that marketing successful. So one of the things is that if we're looking for that silver bullet, then generally you'll find that it just won't work. Marketing strategies don't work in isolation to everything else that you're doing. So if you're running, say, a Facebook campaign, for instance, and looking for that to work, it doesn't run in isolation. You'll generally find that most of the time it's not going to be as successful as you like, and sometimes it'll fail. And a number of times I've got people that come and sort of say they've spent money with a let's say a Facebook agency or a Google Ads agency, and they just got no return on investment at all. So they spent more money than the leads or business that they've got back. So anyone been in that situation? Just give us a show of hands if you've been there. Yep. So lots of us have been there. The reason for that is that those agencies are focusing on one strategy. So they have an expertise in, say, Google Ads, or they've got an expertise in Facebook ads. But it's only that one strategy. But it might take a combination of strategies for your marketing to work. So you probably heard that thing that it takes, 7 touch points before someone would even consider buying from you? Well, that's what it was back in, I think, 2006, 2007. Now I think the stat that I saw for 2019 was that there is 27 touch points before people make a decision even to look at you. So those touch points are things like they've seen you on social media, maybe they've seen you on Facebook, LinkedIn, they've had an email from you, they've seen a video of yours, they've seen you on Facebook again, someone's recommended you, they've seen you at a networking event. So you think 27 of those before they make any sort of decision to really investigate you any further. So can you see that if you're just running Facebook ads, that's only they might only see you 3 or 4 times. That's it. So if you're just running Facebook on its own, then you're just not going to get to that 27 touch points. So you need to think about what are all the other things that people are going to do to consume your content or to get in touch with you. So when you think about your marketing strategies, you need to think about how can you get in front of someone 27 times. Seems like an impossible task. It's actually not that difficult, but if you think of it in terms of not just, say, Facebook ads or not just Google ads, but think about it as a mix of marketing, then it's very easy to get in front of people a number of times. Just by a show of hands, how many people here have seen me or my stuff on social media? Just give us a raise of hands if you've seen me on social media. Okay, so Facebook, let's say Facebook. Yep. Okay, who's seen me on LinkedIn? Yep, great. Who's seen me on Instagram? Fabulous. Anyone seen me on TikTok? I'm there. Oh, yes, there we go. What about Pinterest? I'm there as well. Or who's had an email from me? And I know that probably most of us had an email from me. How many people have seen me in person at a networking event? Okay, great. Who's seen me on YouTube? Yep, so someone's on YouTube. So how many have I just listed there in terms of some of the marketing strategies that we employ here? That's about 10. 7, was it, Jane? Could have been, I can't count. So, but really it's just to illustrate, it's not just one thing that really works, it is a combination of things. And I know that, what do we have last week? Someone turned up here last week and they said that the reason why they came along was that I kept on showing up in their inbox every week. So it's that same headline there. Are you joining us tonight for Business Owners Smashing Online? And they'd seen me on Facebook, and they'd seen me on some other social media as well too. So the reason they came along was, and it took a year. So it wasn't one email, it was a year's worth of emails and seeing me in various different places before they turned up. So imagine if I just relied on Facebook. That person would never have turned up. So it is really that combination of things that really makes it work. Now, sometimes you sort of think, wow, how much time do you spend, doing all of your marketing, and have you got time for it all? So, how much time do you think I spend on my marketing? Any guesses there? Just drop it into chat. How much time a week do you think I spend on my marketing? Any guesses?
Is it a trick question, Nick? Is it you or your team, or just you?
That's a good distinguishment, Jeff. Just me.
10 max.
10 minutes max? 10 minutes?
No, 10 hours max.
10 hours max. Okay, so 10 hours. Yep. What else have we got? 10 minutes? 20 hours?
You're right. In your dreams.
0 hours. Thanks, Roger. What do I spend? I can tell you what I spend sort of like on the social media platforms. I would spend probably about an hour crafting and writing the email that goes out to us all, which is the same content that goes out on social media. So that's about half an hour to an hour that I'd spend doing it. We do use ChatGPT for some of it, but it's pretty useful, or it's not great content. So I do have to spend that sort of time. I spend, so let's say it's 30 minutes. I spend another 30 minutes doing a Facebook Live on Tuesday. So Tuesday mornings is 30 minutes. This show here, I include this as part of my marketing. How long is this? This is what, an hour and a half. So an hour and a half. What else would I do? So maybe I'm going to post, personally, two or three other times. So that's let's call that another 30 minutes. So at max, I'm spending 1, 2, 3 hours. So I spend about 3 hours a week on social media. So that's the maximum. Sometimes in marketing. The other times it'll be a lot less. Good question. Yeah, who edits my YouTube videos? You will see a name in here, MVA. He's the video editor. So he's on my team. And so he does all of the video editing. Not only does he do the videoing, he posts them all up on social media as well too. I've got Lorena on here. She does a lot of the text-based content that goes up on social media as well too. So do I have a lot of help? I've got 2 people that help me. So 2 people full-time to help me, but that's it. So that's it. But but we've got a system and process that makes that work. And we would post probably, I think, between 5 to 10 times a day on social media on most of the platforms. So that's the extent of the marketing that we've got. And then we've got the emails that go out. So 3 emails a week. Sorry, Jeff, yes.
So quick question, Nick. So basically what you're saying, if I'm hearing this right,
Yep.
you've got 2 people, they're full-time.
Yep.
So are we talking for the Nick Cree enterprise, are we talking 80 hours a week?
No,
40 and 40?
No, it'd be less than that because they're posting and creating that stuff in addition to other things that they're doing in the business as well too. So maybe
for other clients, etc. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And for me as well, we've got other projects on the go as well too. So maybe the enterprise might be say 20, so let's say 20, 40, so 40, call it 45 hours, under 50 hours a week. So in total across all of those.
So it's not the 4-hour work week. It's the truth.
Definitely, yes.
There's
Yeah.
no 4-hour work week, guys. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah, I wish there was, but it isn't quite that. Probably 4 hours of, well, less than 4 hours doing my bit in it, but yeah, there's a whole lot of other stuff as well too. So yeah, I do turn up to networking meetings. So that's like, I do 2 of those a week. So that's 3 hours of time. So it's another 6 hours doing there as well too. But the point of that is that you actually don't have to personally spend all of that time doing your marketing if you've got some help. If you haven't got help, then you can still manage your sort of marketing within a reasonable length of time. And if you use some of the tools that we talk about as well, then you can automate some of that as well too. But you do need to get that message out consistently and regularly out to the marketplace. So one of the things is you'll find that I do my YouTube my Facebook video every Tuesday at around about 10 o'clock. So it's a given. That's in my schedule. Do that every week. People
a very quick one for you, Nick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yep.
Quick,
Yep.
Nick. I used to see that religiously. You're normally down the beach, etc. Right?
That's right.
Now, don't ask me why. Maybe we've dropped off somehow. I don't see you at all. I haven't seen you for over a month.
There you go. So there's the social media algorithms at work there.
Yes, correct.
And so they have really been dropping back. So your marketing efforts have got to increase significantly, and ours have increased significantly just to get not even the same reach. So yeah, that's a good point, Jeff. Yeah. And that's one of the difficulties we have with organic is that, if we rely just on, say, Facebook and that alone, we would have a diminishing audience and a diminishing reach out there. So we have to use all of the channels in order to get, I was going to say the same reach. We've got to do more work to get that same reach. Fortunately, we've got some AI tools that do help to speed some of that up. All right. So that's, good point, Victoria. That's probably more than the rest of us. That would probably be right. And I've probably got an advantage in that I work in the online space as my occupation, role, interest. So I do spend a bit more time in it than sort of most people would in business. But it's a sort of time that you need to invest in your marketing activities if it's going to be successful. So let's get back to the slides here. Any other questions about that or comment about that? Yeah, definitely a good virtual assistant can help. Yep. All right. So where that came from is don't duplicate what other people are doing. Oh, did that, can you see my screen? Oh, there we go. All right, can you see that screen? We're just running a bit slow here at the moment. Just give us a thumbs up. Yep, thank you. So don't just duplicate it. You need to look at what people are doing and emulate some of the things that they're doing well, knowing that you need to sort of test and measure it, and it's only part of it all. So it is a combination. There is no one marketing strategy that is going to work best for you. You do need that combination. But the thing that's difficult, and I think Victoria just put her finger on the pulse of it all, was that it's difficult to spend all that time doing all of the things that you need to do in marketing. So I've got a process that will help you with that. So first thing I'd like you to have you all got a sort of a piece of paper and a pen sort of somewhere beside you? What I'd like you to do is pull out that piece of paper and a pen and draw a circle on that piece of paper. So a large circle. So use up most of the piece of paper. Just draw a large circle on that bit of paper. And then in that circle, divide it up into 8 equal pieces. So the way you do it is draw a line from the top to the bottom, and then draw a line sort of from to west. And then you can draw a diagonal line going from southeast or northwest to southeast, and then down the other way. So that gives you 8 equal segments.
Are you trying to teach me how to draw, Nick?
Yes, I think so. I'm probably going to fail dismally here, aren't I?
Yeah, well, in an art teacher's way, just draw a pizza, everyone.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. A pizza with 8 slices. So you've
Just
got 8
draw
people
a plus
coming
sign
together.
and then draw a cross, and you've got 8 slices of pizza.
Fabulous. Just do what Jane said. Now, I want you to think about this here. What are 8 things that you are doing currently for your marketing? What are 8 things you're doing right now? And in each of those pizza pieces, just on the outside of it, of each piece, just write down what activity, you know, what 8 of those activities, one for each slice. And when you've done that, just give us a thumbs up or a 1 in chat, just so I know where you're up to. So 8 things you're doing with marketing your business. So there might be things like your website. It could be Facebook, you know, organic posting. It could be you're running ads. It could be you're doing sort of LinkedIn outreach. It could be that you're posting regularly images on Instagram. Might be that you're doing some email out. Might be that you're running a webinar. You might be on a podcast as a guest on a podcast. You might be going to networking. So just list down the things that you're doing currently with your marketing. No, you don't have to allocate time. You just need to list down the things that you are doing in your marketing currently. All right, so yep, just drop a 1 into chat when you've done that. All right, excellent. A few 1s coming through. That's a really good comment there, Victoria. I hate networking. The thing about marketing is there are so many strategies out there. You don't have to do sort of all of them. So you can pick the ones that you want to do. And if you remember, one thing I should say too is what works for one industry doesn't necessarily work for another industry. Or what's working for your competitors might not work for you. So you know, you just need to work out what your combination is. So just jotting down, what are the current things that you're doing at the moment? So again, just drop a 1 into chat. Few 1s coming in. Just drop a 1 into chat when you've done it. Yep, 8 things. That's right, 8 things. You might be doing more than that, but just drop in 8 things. Okay, 1's going in, thumbs up, fantastic. If you haven't got a bit of paper and a pen out there, and you can find it, it'd be great to do it because there are some things in here that I think are going to be helpful for your marketing and working out what you need to do. Okay, so we've got, got lots of 1s in there. Perfect. Okay. All right, next step on this here is if you imagine that the very inside, if you put a black or a dot, doesn't have to be black, whatever color pen it is, right in the middle of that circle, just put a dot. And then imagine that dot is 0 and that on each of those lines on the way out, it is a gradient that goes out to 10. So the outside of the circle represents 10, the inside of the circle is 0. So now what I'd like you to do is to rate how well you're doing, or just rate the effect, you know, sort of, how well you're doing with the marketing for each of those. So, you know, it might be, say, Facebook organic posts, you know, that's at a 2. So you just put a mark where you think 2 is on that line in Facebook. And then sort of it might be LinkedIn. You think, oh, actually you're doing pretty well there. We'll sort of mark that as a 4. So each of those, just mark in it up on the axis of that one there, whether it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In fact, you can color it in. So if you put a line across the pizza segment and then color it in down to the 0, so we get it sort of shaded in. And again, once you've done that, You're saying the number you put in is somehow related to sales. No, it's not related to sales. It's just how effective you think it is, or how well you think you're doing with it. So your measure might be sales, but it might be that you're not putting enough time into it. It'd be good to be able to allocate more time to it. It might be that you're spending money and just getting some no return, or you might be getting lots of return. All right. Networking is great. Coffee, bacon, and coffee. All right. So there's lots of measures there. Coffee is a good measure.
I just thought of another one that you may have said, because I was mute for a while my dad was talking, but I've found effective just recently is to turn up into Facebook groups that are about a particular paint that I use, which is gouache.
Oh, yes.
And I asked a question in it. I mean, I've responded to many posts, but I asked a question in it and didn't expect anyone locally to be able to answer it. But 3 people answered it saying, I would be interested in that workshop. Can I get your details? It's like,
Fabulous.
wow, I did not expect that 3 other people on the Gold Coast were in this international painting page. So yeah, Facebook groups are a really good place to market yourself.
So that could be, so if that's a strategy, marketing to Facebook groups, that's definitely a strategy that you can put down there. And then you can sort of mark down, well, how effective is that for you at the moment? Or what sort of rating would you give that?
As long as you don't come
I haven't
across
put it
as
into my
spamming.
pizza. What was that?
As long as you don't come across as spamming everybody else in there. I get people jumping in.
But if you
and that's all they
make
want to do.
comments, if you make comments on like in your field and you provide positive comments,
Yeah.
people are going to start to see that you're actually an expert in your field. But yes, definitely not spamming.
So that is a strategy. That's a marketing strategy. And so that's one that I put on, well, you could put on the wheel. And I know that's one of my strategies as well. You've probably seen those posts where people say, not if you know a good web developer, or how do you do, let's say someone asks a question, how do you set up a Facebook ad, for instance? So that might be a question they post in one of the groups. And what you find is a lot of people put into those groups things like, contact me, DM me, they tag people's names and all that sort of thing, and sort of in that post. So it just ends up as a whole lot of spammy recommendations. And people have tagged me into some of those too, which I appreciate and which is really good, but it generally doesn't result in much action. But what I've found really does work, and this is one of my strategies, is that, and it sounds like similar to yours, Jane, is I put a long answer in the comment on how to do exactly what they've asked for. And what happens with that there is that person doesn't generally reach out to me that asked the question, but I get other people reaching out to me.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sell yourself. It's like you position yourself as an expert in there just by giving helpful information. So so that's a good strategy. Yeah.
Can I interject?
Victoria, yes.
Yeah, I actually find those Facebook groups are very difficult, and I don't waste my time with them anymore, because the minute you say something in some of those groups and they think you know more than them, they get their nose right out of joint and they think you're trying to sell a product or something to them, and they get really narky. I have found them absolutely the worst thing ever. So I look at what they say now, but I don't get involved in them.
And they've got the problem, not you.
Thank you, darling.
But that just illustrates really, really quite well that some of the strategies that you might employ, or some of the tools and tactics, they just don't work. And so not everything's going to work. So part of it is working out what's working and what doesn't work. You drop the things that don't work, keep the ones that do work, or you change tack on the one that isn't working and just try a few different things. So it's about finding that right mix of your marketing that is working.
And Victoria, you're right, because I probably have joined 50 art-related Facebook groups. This particular one is like really bringing it down to a certain paint that artists and illustrators use. And I really enjoy that group. So the algorithm shows me a lot from that group.
But you asked a question though, and yet how did you get people asking for that course when all you did was ask a
Because
question?
the question I asked is, I'm here on the Gold Coast and I'm going to be holding a gouache workshop,
ChatGPT.
and I want to know, should I supply the paint for everyone, or should I get them to bring their own? And
Clever.
there was something like 50 replies. It was a really active post. And 3 of the comments were, I live on the Gold Coast. And one lady said, I've met you before at one of the urban sketches. And they just said, please keep me informed because I'd love to come to this workshop. So I went into it very, very innocent and got the right advice for the workshop. Yes, I am supplying everything so that no one comes in with cheap, crappy paints that don't work properly. And like I got the question answered, and I also picked up 3 potential people for the workshop.
Clever way to do it, actually, because you didn't actually say, does anybody know about this? You're saying, well,
No.
how can I run this course? You know, you're asking
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, exactly. I was asking advice. I wasn't coming across as the expert at all.
Yeah.
Also allows someone who's not necessarily interested in painting, if they do see it, to offer an opinion, because it might be their opinion on other types of courses and workshops. Yes, you should provide everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's another thing that you said in there too, Jane, is that someone there had mentioned that they've met you before. So this isn't the first time they've met you. So because of your other activities that you've been doing, this is just layered on top of that. So this is one marketing piece that's layered on other things that she's seen of you as well too.
Yes.
So,
and I've put that down in my pizza.
Excellent. So those are the sort of things that work in combination. So, and the reason why we have an 8-wheeled pizza or an 8-slice pizza is that you should have about 8 things going at one time for your marketing. So you might not have them all going well, but if you've got 8 things in your marketing piece, you've got a good chance of getting some good traction.
And 8 pieces of pizza is a family size one.
Exactly. Yes. So you get to feed everyone.
Yeah.
And after all, that's what we're in business for, isn't it?
And trying something new.
Yeah.
Like I cooked my own pizza tonight.
Oh, there we go. And you survived.
Well, so far, sorry about being late, but I didn't want it to get cold.
Fair enough. So has everyone sort of filled in, put a rating on where they are from 1 to 10, and then colored that rating in from the rating through to the center of the pizza. So you should get something that's like probably an off-center wheel. If you were to cut it out, make a wheel, it's probably not going to be a particularly comfortable ride. So everyone done that? Yep. All right. So what we do there is now you obviously can't work on all of these at the same time, and if you try and work on them all, you're probably going to sort of not actually get the success that you want. So what you want to do is to work on one fairly solidly until you get it to a point that it's working well before you move to the next one. Don't abandon them all. So, whatever you're doing at the moment, just keep doing that sort of thing, but put more focus and energy in onto one of them. So what you need to do is just choose one that you think has got some good quick wins that'll be easy for you to do something with. So if you were to choose one, just pop a big 1 beside it with a circle or in the square in the pizza there to focus in on that one there. So just choose one of them. And maybe just give us, so the one that you're choosing, if you're happy enough to share which one you chose, just unmute and let us know which one it is. Give some context to it.
Should we be going for one that's not got a great rating or one that's getting a good rating?
It's one that is... You can do something to improve it. You could improve it quite easily. So it might have a good rating, or it might have a low rating just because you haven't focused on it, but you could focus, put some attention to it. What would be an example of that? So, well, let's say, for instance, if you want to create a YouTube channel, and you already had a lot of videos. Let's say you've uploaded videos to Facebook, or you already had a whole lot of videos. So it might be 0 or a 1 for YouTube, But because you've got this bank of videos, you know, it's going to be a quick win for you if you uploaded another sort of 10 or 15 videos to YouTube, because you've already got that there. So that might be worth investing in. Or it might be a strategy that's working really well. So again, if we sort of look using Facebook groups, for instance, and putting comments in Facebook groups that are really helpful. If you found that works, then you might look at how can you actually amplify that to do more of that. So that might be one that would give you quick wins because you already know what to do. But if you just choose one of them. All right. So Steve, yep, Instagram for you. Fabulous. Yep. Website. Excellent. Yep. So just drop into chat, you know, which one you think is going to be the one that will give you the quickest wins. We'll get a few of those into chat. Or you can unmute and just let us know as well. Okay, Facebook groups. Yep, great. Facebook ads. Fabulous. All right. YouTube ads from last week. Yes, that was a good session last week, wasn't it, with YouTube ads? Yep. Okay. Excellent. Well, that's a good point. Hopeless at all of them. That's a great place to start. So again, you know, sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming with, you know, all these marketing strategies. So really what you're doing is you're picking one, and possibly, you know, if you're not confident with any of them, or you don't have enough information about any of them, pick one that you think would be the easiest one to learn or to get some traction on and to apply. So that's good. All right, yeah, you could hire someone too. But again, yeah, so you could hire someone. But what are the ones that are easiest? The great thing about internet these days, and even ChatGPT, is that you can actually ask it some questions about you know, what you could be doing.
A quick one, Nick. I've had some amazing traction by mistake. It's a long story, but we came across a bit of software I hadn't been using. I've been paying for it, but not using it. And it was a QR code generator. So we made, you've probably seen them on my page, we made some wonderful branded QR codes. And I kid you not, guys, it doubled my business in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
With branded QR codes. But there's a trick to it. Not only do you do the branded QR code, people like me are lazy or stupid. They don't even know how to scan a QR code. I also pop the link in the message as well. So I give them a live link and the QR code. And the great thing about this program, it tells me exactly how many people have been to my page. In the last 2 weeks, guys, 550 on one QR code alone.
Fabulous. So then you can measure, you know, those that came to the website page, and you know, what sort of conversions you've got off that as well too. Great marketing strategy.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, that's good.
Can I interrupt? I mean,
Yeah.
I've got QR codes, but what, are you putting them on some special platform or something?
Putting them on my own pages, and I'm making people offers like, hey, you want this? Here's a QR code. You want a meeting with me? Here's a QR code. You want 15 minutes of fame? Here's a QR code.
Okay,
Yeah?
I get it. Yeah, I get it now.
So we're basically, because we're pretty, well, not pretty, we're very aggressive in marketing. I mean, I'm here to make sales. No other, you know, in life, I'm a salesperson at the end of the day.
Mm.
And
Thanks for that.
Yeah, and so there's a good example of something that was just lingering around in the background. You know, a piece of software you'd already had, just tried it out, just pulled it back out of the bag again, and accidentally found something. So that's often what you'll find with some of these marketing strategies too, is that you will stumble across things quite by accident. So we've got two examples of that tonight. You've got yours there, Jeff, with the QR codes. You've got Jane's there with that Facebook group. And often marketing, you know, your marketing strategies are about things that you accidentally come across. And the only way you do that is by actually having a bit of a plan and really sort of focusing in on some of the marketing things. Because I bet, Jeff, you didn't just pull that out one day. You know, you realised that you had it there. You thought, oh, let's give it a whirl and see what we can do with it. So there was a bit of intention behind it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So has everyone chosen it? Yep. Okay. What have we got? Yeah, Jody, lots of QR code makers out there. So Jeff's got a piece of software, but you know, even in Canva, they've got QR codes as well too that you can generate. So there is lots of software out there for it. In fact, if you reach out to Jeff, he'd probably be happy to share some of what he's using there. All right. Gordon, yep, 80% of income came from networking at less than 4% outlay. So there you go. So, you know, for some industries that'll work well, other industries it just doesn't work, you know, at all for. So, you know, without actually experimenting and doing some of these things, you'll just never know. All right. So if you've chosen that one to focus in on, it's not you're going to ignore all the rest of them, but if you're to focus in on one of them, the next part of the process is, where are we? It is to, I'll take you down to number 6 there. And that is write down 5 things in that task that you can work on. So what are 5 tasks that would help move that forward for you? So for instance, if it was, and we'll take Jeff's example there, if it was a QR code strategy, one of those tasks might be to find a QR code maker that had stats in behind it so you could track it. So that'd be one step. Another step would be deciding sort of where you're going to send them. So, you know, is it a landing page? Is it your booking calendar? So that's another task. So just write down, and only 5 tasks, just 5 tasks that you could complete for each one of those. Sorry, just for one of those wheels, not all of them, just that one that you selected. 5 tasks. When you've got those 5 tasks down, just drop a 5 into chat. And this is the sort of thing that you know, we'll only have time to do this one segment of the wheel. But once we're finished, you go through all the rest of the segments, those other 7 segments on your pizza wheel, and you'd write down 5 tasks for each of those. Not you're going to do them all now, but you know, just what are 5 things. So one of the things might be sort of learning about it. So it could be some education. So finding you know, some tutorials about how to do it, or a course on Udemy on how to do it. So that might be one of the tasks. Or it might be finding a particular app and tool to be able to help you. Or it might be finding someone who's an expert in the field that you could spend some time with to help you with this as well. Or it might be finding an AI tool that could help with it. So 5 tasks for that one segment of the pizza wheel. And when you've got your 5 tasks there, just drop a 5 into the chat, just so that I know that we've got some progress there. Doesn't matter how minor or major it is, but just as long as you've got, you know, 5 tasks. All right, so thanks, Jody. Yep, so we've got 5 there. So just dropping 5 into chat when you've done that. Okay, thanks, Stephen. Jeff, yep. As you're dropping the 5 in, if you think about over the next 90 days, if you've got 90 days to sort of really work on this here, could you put a date beside each of those 5 tasks where you could complete it? So like an actual date there, like a target date to complete it by. Excellent, thanks, Mark. So just give it a rough estimate. You know, it's like just, you know, how long would it take? Is it a 2-hour job? Is it a 1-week job? Is it a you know, 30-second job? You know, how long is it going to take? And then that really, when could you actually get it realistically? You know, get it done by. And obviously, the next step after that would be just going to your schedule, and you can do that at some other time when you jump off, is marking your schedule when you can actually dedicate some time to it. So if it's a 30-minute job there, just pop it in your schedule there for, I don't know, Thursday at 2 o'clock. You'll spend that 30 minutes working on that there. Yeah, that's a good one, Jeff. Few days and then ongoing. So again, with that there too, you know, what's it take to set it up? So, you know, how much time do you have to dedicate at the beginning there to get it going? And then if it's one of those things that's a consistent ongoing thing, you know, when are you going to schedule that in so it happens regularly? So like my Facebook Live, for instance, that I do every Tuesday, 10 o'clock every Tuesday, it's in my calendar and I never miss it. All right, so getting some 5s in there, fabulous.
While that's happening, Nick, I'm just curious, you know a bit more than me about Facebook as such. Why do you think, particularly, you know, because I would have thought that I engage with you, you engage with me. I would have thought that we'd be pretty well connected. Why do you think the fact, like, I don't see you anymore on a Tuesday, why have I dropped out of your world, so to speak? Any suggestions?
It's a really good question. One of the things I can think of, and I've seen this happen before in my feed, is
Yes.
if you're clicking on things like, there are particular things that I see come in my field, which are curiosities of the world, for instance. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm always interested in some of that sort of stuff. So I'll click on that and read some of that, and often read some of those comments.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of time, but you know, get sucked into it.
Rabbit hole, yeah.
Yeah, and then I see more of that. But what I've found is I see less and less things from people that I know.
Yes.
So what you click on and what you interact with determines what you see more or less of. So and what I've found is that I see less of a lot of people that I know, more of those sort of world things. And so I think the algorithm's just decided that that's what it's going to give me. So in order to get back to seeing other people, that means just doing some simple things like liking, commenting, you know, on their posts, and that starts to bring them back into your feed. So
another interesting,
write a post and tag everyone, tag all your friends individually.
Yeah, that'll do too.
Yeah. I don't do that, Paul. I sort of feel, only me personally, I feel tagging is like you're having a party or spending time with your best friend or whatever, or your girlfriend, whoever, and I knock on your door. Well, to me, you didn't ask me to knock on your door. So personally, if it's only me, guys, yeah, I don't tag, right? Never. I don't tag at all, right? That's just me. I'm not saying you shouldn't tag. It's there for a reason, and maybe use sparingly, it's a good thing, but I don't tag. Right.
There's a new thing that Facebook does now, though, where they do this mentions thing, and I get these reminders. Someone mentioned you, you know, because you liked something they liked, and somehow they're mentioning me all the time, and I can't work that out. I don't know how.
Mention is a function of a Facebook page.
You know, it's in Facebook page, yeah. Yes. But I'm thinking, you know, some page I might have liked, and they go, oh, they mentioned you, and you go and have a look at it. There's no mention of you whatsoever. So I'm trying to work out what it is or how they're getting these. I can't work out how, when they post something, you're getting a mention, and probably everybody else on their page is getting a mention. So you'll go and look at that post, but I don't know how that works. That's something new.
That'd be another reason why so Jeff also wouldn't see, you know, some of the things that he wants to see. There's a thing on Facebook which is mentioned. There's also at everyone, and so what you find is all your Facebook messages or your notifications get filled up with those things. I miss a lot of stuff that people tag me in or you know, reply to me because of all that other stuff in there. And because
it's so annoying.
Yeah, because I don't click on those you know, when I'm genuinely mentioned, then I see less of it because the Facebook algorithm thinks that I'm not interested, but I've just missed it. So yeah.
It's just annoying. It's these constant beeps coming on your phone. It's like, go away.
Turn it off.
For God's sake.
Turn the sound off.
If you're friends with someone, if you're friends with someone on Facebook or you're following their page and they put a post up and say hashtag to everyone, it goes to everyone that's following them or that's friends, and that's where the mentioned you comes in.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. It's been around for a couple of years. There's an interesting thing here. Jodie's saying she changed Nick to me to a favourite. so you can obviously favorite people in there, so you see more of their stuff. So there is a tag for family as well too. You can mark them as family. So
yeah.
All right. So
Uncle Nick. Yep.
Everyone got 5 tasks, hopefully with a date that you think you could complete it by. So really what you've got there is a 90-day marketing plan. So, or it might be a 30-day marketing plan. It could be a 90-day plan, but it's something you can work on. And one of the things that you need to do is at the end of that period of time. So let's say it was a 30-day. You could get it done in 30 days, come back, reevaluate then. So when you're reevaluating it, you look at, if we go back to the wheel, go back to your wheel there and then mark where it is on the, where you rate it on the wheel. So if you marked it as say a 1 right now, is it gone up? If you marked it at a 3 or a 4, or where is that rating? So you can actually see the movement of it all. And then at that point there, you look at, so you might have a system in place for that's working well. Then you look at what's the next thing you can knock off. And then, what are the 5 tasks you could do for that? And so what you'll find with it is that if you consistently work through all of those 8 items, you will have 8 marketing segments there starting to work for you and starting to work in combination. So they don't all need to be related, but what you'll start to find is some people, let's say if you set up a YouTube channel and are uploading videos there, some of them are going to see that there, and that'll appear in search as well. If you're using a Facebook groups commenting strategy, then and you've got that going well, and you've got a routine around that, so you've set up a routine around it, so that's going, some people will see that there, some people will see both, and then if you've got a QR code strategy, then some people will see that, and some people will see sort of 2 or 3 of those things. But if you've got 8 of them, chances are that people are going to see more than one thing that you're doing, and so you start to be sort of quite visible. The trick to your online marketing is not self-promotion, it's being visible. So the more you are seen, the more familiar you become, and the more helpful information you get, the more likely it is that you're going to start to get some traction, with your marketing. So just as Jane was talking about in those Facebook groups there, it's not about sort of pitching and selling yourself on that. It's about, can you give can you ask a question which is a genuine question, or can you give some helpful information that is useful for people? So if you so look at your marketing as not a sales process, but as a way of raising your visibility in a way that people take notice. Does that make sense?
Can I ask a question there?
Yeah.
Do you think, how important is it to like other pages? Because it gives me the shits doing that all the time. How important is it to like, everybody that likes your page? Should you like them back, or should you pick pages that are more suited to your business or whatever? Or do you just like everybody and add everybody?
There are no rules around it. So what you're looking at there is this going to be effective? So how effective is this? So certainly if you like someone's page, that that may pop you up on their radar, but just doing a like of a page in itself is not going to move the needle very much. But if you happen to like someone's page and then you start to comment on some of the posts that they're creating, and liking, maybe sharing some of those, that's going to move the needle a bit more in the sense that the person that owns the page is probably going to notice some of those things. So if it's a strategic thing where you're trying to get in front of the person that owns the page, that could be a good strategy. So that could be part of your strategy. But it really depends on what sort of outcome you want from doing that.
Remember, what is the word that you used? Like. If it's not something that you like, there's no need to like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, all of these things are strategies. Some people will be really successful with a strategy like that. Other people or other businesses just not going to work at all. So it's all we're doing here with this wheel is looking at where are 8 areas that you can focus in your marketing, remembering that it's a combo. So, your fries, burger, Coke, chips, all of that with it together, your marketing is a combo like that. It's never an individual strategy or an individual app, tool, or piece.
Plain or chicken salt.
Yep. And that's right. You can add your own flavor to it. So So go back sort of at the end, and I suggest sort of look at something for over 90 days. So like a 90-day plan is a good solid block of work that you can put into your schedule for your marketing, and then consistently work at. The what was it? Noah Kagan in that book, it's $1 Million Weekend, talks about you need to do things 100 times to work out whether it's got any sort of chance of success or traction with it. So if you just try things for a week or a couple of weeks, you're never going to really get any traction with it. But if you have sort of like say 100 days, trying something for 100 days, for instance, or 100 instances of it, then you're going to get some really good idea as to whether it works or not. If nothing else, it will help you to increase your knowledge in that particular marketing strategy, and that's when you start to get some results. And you will get results. It'll either be results in the positive, it'll be results in a negative, or it'll be sort of something in between there. And it's a bit like going to the gym. I had a look at my because I go to the gym, my score, how many times I've been to the gym. I think I've been something like 77 times, since I've just gone back this time. But and there are sort of times that I don't feel like going. I'm not quite up to that 100 times yet, so it's easy to drop off, before that time. Same with your marketing as well too. So if you commit yourself to like 100 days, or which is like your 90-day plan with another 10 tacked on, or 100 times, that's going to give you a reasonable measure of how successful it is. But if you work on that, and then you sort of work on 8 segments, so you've got 8 things going at once. And then what happens is you can come back to each of those, and then mark your score on it again, and your score might change. It might you might have got it up to a 5, and then you drop it back down to a 1 because you realize there's a whole lot more that you could be doing with this because you've learned a whole lot more. And so it is an iterative process where you do learn more, and then you keep on working on it. I'd like to say that you could finish it, but my experience with anything on the web, nothing's ever finished. There's only more to do. And the more you learn, the more you realize that there's more to learn. So has that been helpful at all?
The more you know how much you don't know.
Correct.
That's about it.
Correct. So that process there, I've just dropped that QR code on the screen there. Will take you through to a template for that. So those of you who want a template to download, so you can work through that. That gives you probably a prettier wheel than just drawing it on your page. Although drawing it on your page is fine, and it just gives you sort of all of those 8 segments just to jot down your 5 tasks to go and work through on it. So I'll just leave that up there for a moment if you happen to want to scan that, or the URL's up there as well too. And we've dropped the URL into chat if you wanted the link. So that's in chat. So there's no opt-in or anything for that. You can just go and download it. Hopefully you'll be able to get it fairly easily. It's in Google Drive. If you find that it's asked, that it's sort of saying that you need to get permission from the owner, just click that button, send it through to me, and I'll be able to add that permission in. But hopefully it should be right. Everyone got that? All right. And the very last one is, if you do want to spend some more time on it, got some questions, you want to have a look at your business process, your marketing process, then you are more than welcome to scan that code and book in a 30-minute discovery call where we can sort of have a look at some of what you're doing at the moment and help you to get some clarity around it all. So again, feel free to scan that. And again, the link is also in the chat as well too. All right. Any questions at all? Questions, comments? Helpful?
Just an idea, Nick.
Yep.
With guys, you'll see with that QR code of Nick's, notice he took the trouble. It's okay. He took the trouble to also put the link, and that's the key. Most of you probably went to the link. If you're anything like me, you're lazy, so you want to press a button. Whereas with the QR code, you've got to pick up your phone, you've got to hope you've got a scanner, you've got to get it, line it up, scan it, blah, blah. It's no big deal, but I'm just lazy. So I went straight to the link. So
Yeah.
if you use QR codes, guys, make sure like Nick's done, you also include a link and you'll double your business.
100%, 100%. And also if people are viewing your QR code on their phone, they can't scan it because they need another phone to scan it. So having the link there means that they've got another way of getting to it. So yeah,
All the
good
above.
point. Thanks, Jeff. All right, any other comments, questions at all? If you
That was excellent, thank you.
Excellent, thanks, Charlie. Thanks for that. If you do have more questions, then yeah, would encourage you to, well, feel free to book on that discovery call, and I'm more than happy to spend sort of 30 minutes with you to go through it and whatever challenges you've got in business.
I'm like, we all got challenges, Nick.
Maybe that was a bit too wide open there, wasn't it? Yes, it wouldn't be business if there weren't challenges there. There's always
interesting. Some feedback, guys. I do a fair few, not as many as I should. I do a fair few Facebook lives, and you'll know how to do this, Nick. What I do before I do the live, I'm trying to work out what time to do them. Like, do I do them at 5 in the evening or 8 in the evening because I'm in the Philippines? And interesting enough, I used to go online and say, I'll make this up, 10 o'clock at night was the best time because that was 10 a.m. in America. That's where my clients are. So I'd have a look and I'd go, wow, 700 people online. Okay, I'll go now. But lately, I've been going, as Nick says, we're getting cut back. Lately, I've been going on, guys, and truly I'm finding I'm getting half the audience. I'll go on at the same time, 10 o'clock, and I'll have a look, 390 people, as opposed to last week or 2 weeks ago, it was 800. So big difference, big difference.
And that's why.
So even Facebook Live, yeah, they're getting cut back.
Yep, they are. So yes, it is important to keep tracking it. So that wheel that we've just had there, if you find that it's dropped back, you need to know that there, so you can work. So you can then determine what are the things you need to do to either improve that or to do something else. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, well, look, that is a fairly basic online marketing plan. That's how I go about it. It is a really helpful process because it keeps you focused in on the activities that are going to help you, and it stops you from jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing. And that's the problem that a lot of people have, which is why they don't get the success that they need, is they don't stick at it long enough to really get any results. So if you know that you've got 8 things that you can focus on, and you can really spend the time on the tasks that you need to do, like the 5 tasks, you'll start to get some traction with it and move from one to the next, to the next, to the next. That there's a basic marketing. And I think, if you can do something over 90 days, spend it to 90 days and you've got a good process. All right. Well, if you'd like to save the chat, if you click on those 3 little dots in the chat, either at the top right-hand side or down below, you can save that to your computer. It's got all the links in there, which are all clickable. And apart from that, we'll be, if you want to watch this again, it will be up on the YouTube channel, SmashGo YouTube channel. That link is now in chat as well too. So feel free to go along, subscribe to the channel. If you think someone else might be interested in it as well too, feel free to share that channel out to them for them to watch it. Apart from that, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you back again next week. Have a good evening.